The Man Who Failed Forward. There once lived a man named Ravi, a quiet dreamer with big ambitions. Ever since he was a child, he wanted to become an inventor, to create something that would make life easier for others. He would spend hours in his small workshop, building strange machines from scrap metal and broken electronics. His family admired his passion but often said, "Dreams are nice, Ravi, but you need something practical." Still, he believed that one day his ideas would change lives. The first big failure. When Ravi was in his 20s, he designed a small solar-powered fan that could help poor families in rural areas. He put all his savings into creating a prototype and presented it to several companies. But one by one, they rejected him. Some said too simple. Others said too risky. One even laughed and said, "You're not a real engineer." Each rejection felt like a wound. He started to doubt himself. Maybe I'm not meant for this. Eventually, he gave up his dream and took a job at a factory just to survive. Every day, he watched machines working around him, and a voice in his heart whispered, "You were meant to create, not just to watch." But fear kept him silent. A spark of purpose. One afternoon, the power went out at the factory during a heat wave. Ravi watched as dozens of workers, including an elderly man, struggled to breathe in the sweltering air. He remembered his old invention, the solar fan. That night, something inside him reignited. He went home, dusted off his old designs, and whispered to himself, "Maybe I failed before, but that doesn't mean I was wrong to try." He decided to start again, not for money, not for fame, but to help people. Rebuilding after rejection. Ravi worked late into the nights after his factory shifts. He improved his design, made it cheaper, lighter, and more efficient. He didn't have much, but he had determination. He began giving out a few fans to local workers who couldn't afford electricity. Slowly, word spread. People started thanking him, not with money, but with gratitude. One day, a local journalist saw his work and wrote an article titled, "The Man Who Brings Wind Where There Is None." Within weeks, Ravi received calls from non-profit groups and environmental organizations who wanted to partner with him. The same people who once rejected him were now reaching out, this time with respect. The turning point. Years later, Ravi's small invention became part of a larger solar innovation program that reached hundreds of villages. His name was featured in newspapers, but what touched him most wasn't the fame, it was the smiles of children studying under his solar lights and families sleeping comfortably on hot nights. When asked how he stayed motivated after so many failures, Ravi said, "Failure is not the opposite of success, it's the bridge to it. Every no taught me how to make my next yes stronger." He explained that he had stopped chasing success and started chasing purpose. And once he did that, motivation became natural because he was no longer doing it to prove himself, but to serve others. The lesson. Ravi's story reminds us that failure isn't the end, it's a test. Rejection doesn't mean you're not capable. It just means your path is asking for more patience, growth, and purpose. When you fall, don't see it as defeat, see it as a chance to refine your dream, to rise stronger and wiser. Because sometimes the world says no, not to stop you, but to see how deeply you believe in your yes. And when your dream is rooted in purpose, no rejection can stop it.